So UN-backed report said Monday, as the EU top diplomat accused Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war, 70% of the population in Gaza, in northern Gaza, let me clarify, already suffering with catastrophic levels of hunger. Then we have Doctors Without Border saying that millions of civilians in Gaza face collective punishment due to Israel's blockade on fuel and medicine. Then we have Refugees International saying that research analysis by them shows Israeli conduct has consistently and groundlessly impeded aid operations within Gaza, blocked legitimate relief populations. Then we have the the World Food Program saying that just 10% of needed food supplies are getting in. Then we have the UN's leading expert in right to food, Michael Farpriti. Israel is intentionally starving Palestinians should be held accountable for a war crime. He also said it's blah, 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 blah. So the point is that you have a whole bunch of third-party sources saying this. And I would love it if you can show me some counter evidence. Like, show me a source that says, no, there's no starvation going on there.
First of all, I've never said there's no starvation going on there. Number one.
Why are we even debating this? I feel like you're just being contrarian right now if you agree with me.
You're saying contrarian because you don't understand how to construct an argument, okay? Right now, you're presenting a positive claim. A positive claim means that there's a particular conclusion or argument that you're trying to give to me, and you're trying to say that I have provided ample evidence to support the claim, okay? What I'm fighting with you right now on are the premises that you've given. I'm saying that your argument is not sound, okay? That the premises that you've laid out, they don't work. I'm rejecting them. And then you're saying, oh, well, you're not even giving your own argument. No, I'm not, because I'm attacking your argument, because you're the one presenting the argument right now. I haven't even presented an argument. You have no idea what my position is on this particular thing. But you started off with, first you said Israel was intentionally blocking humanitarian aid, and now you're giving me arguments about how, the sources say all these people are starving. And what I'm showing is that they might be starving. I haven't even disagreed with the conclusion. I'm just showing you that I disagree with how you're getting there. I don't even know if I agree or disagree with you. We haven't gotten to that part of the argument yet. But I'm saying that that's why I asked you, what are we arguing about right now? Are we arguing about the facts on the ground, or are we going to argue about what third-party organizations say? Because I know what they say. I can read them. I have read them. But I've also read the underlying reports.
The question is, do you believe them?
When it comes to a lot of the reporting on this, no, I check the methodology and I check exactly what's being reported on in the actual reports themselves, because reading the top line summaries or reading paragraphs out of news articles doesn't seem to be giving me the information underneath that is actually important. Because there's a huge.
Don't you think if you doubt literally every single third-party organization that you should have some counter evidence that you can present?
No. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You're getting lost. You do not need counter evidence to attack the validity or the sound.
Are you claiming an agnostic position on this?
I didn't say that. I'm just. You don't need a position to counter a position that you believe is unsound. I don't need a position on that. If somebody comes in and they say, okay, here's my syllogism. 5 million people died yesterday to shark attacks, okay? And I know that because on TV, I was watching a cartoon where Dora said that 5 million people died. Therefore, my conclusion is 5 million people died to shark attacks. I can attack that argument all day and say this doesn't logically follow, and the premises aren't even true, so it's invalid and it's unsound. And then you can't go, oh wait, so what's your position on it? I don't need to have a position to attack the validity of the other argument. My whole point is to show you the flawed methodologies being employed here, like measuring trucks to figure out if people are getting enough food or not. Whether or not I think there's starvation or not is irrelevant. The argument being constructed here is not good. That's all I'm making the point on.
You're doubting the conclusion of the sources. You're saying that, no, I don't believe it. On this issue, I think they're wrong. So that's what you're saying is all these sources that you cited, I don't think they're correct. The conclusions are not correct. So then, once again, my question is, okay, if these sources are not correct, give me some counter evidence of a source that would show what is actually going on.
Sure, I could do that if you want to give me time to assemble those. But me putting forth a positive argument isn't required for me to reject somebody else's positive argument.
So you said you're not arguing the agnostic side. So that by default, if you're arguing the negative side, that you would have to provide some evidence.
I haven't argued any side. My side is going to be largely inductive. We can go through my arguments if you want. If you want to do that, we can do that. If you want to switch gears, but I'm just saying that so far on the other side,
ample chances. I was like, okay, show me some counter evidence, and you haven't done that.
No, because you're asking me for counter evidence to debunk your argument. I don't need counter evidence to debunk your claim. I just have to show a flaw in the methodology.
No, not debunk my arguments, debunking what all the third-party organizations are saying. You're saying that I don't believe what these guys are saying. Okay, show me why they're wrong. Show me some evidence. Show me a source.
Okay, you're asking me what the conditions are on the ground is different than asking me if I think that their style of argumentation or their methodology is wrong. Anybody that
Okay.
starts off by quoting, these organizations included, by quoting to me trucks going into the country, I'm instantly discrediting their argument. They might be correct in their conclusion, like in an accidental way, but it's not worthwhile to me. I wouldn't even
So
waste my time reading it.
even if you discredit my argument, but you agree with my conclusion, that still wouldn't really necessarily change anything.
It changes everything.
If the conclusion is correct that there's mass starvation going on, Israel's blocking aid, even if the methodology isn't correct, but we get to the right conclusion, then what's actually the difference? So again, it's not my argument. I'm just repeating what the sources are saying. And you're saying, you very explicitly said, yeah, on this issue, I don't believe pretty much every one of the sources, third-party sources, that's saying that this and this is going on. So once again, I mean, if you want more time to prepare for that, that's well and good. But I'd just be curious if you can provide at least like one source.
Okay, here's a question. Okay. Do you know the answer? Do you know what 2 squared is? Do you know the answer to that math problem will be?
4.
Okay. If I say that 2 squared equals, if I were to say that expression can be simplified to 2 plus 2, is that a correct simplification?
No, but the answer would still be correct. And we're talking about the answer here.
Okay, but would you say that would you trust that methodology?
No, but if the answer is correct, then the conclusion would be correct.
But how do you know the answer is correct?
Well, you just said that you actually believe the answers are correct, the conclusions are correct.
No, I don't. I'm saying that even if the conclusion is correct,
do you think the conclusions are correct?
Personally, I don't think Wait, hold on. Wait, what? I don't even know what the specific question is. Here's I'll make some general statements on what I believe to be true, okay? Right now on the Gaza Strip, okay? So my first assumption is that there probably is a higher level of food insecurity, starvation, malnutrition, famine, or whatever, than what's ever been seen in the Gaza Strip in the history of that region, at least since in the past 100 years. That's one. That would be a prior assumption that I would have. And my guesstimate on that would be based on the fact that a huge number of people have moved in a very short period of time in an area that was already like a developing region at best in terms of food security, and the fact that it seems like a lot of people are complaining about food getting in and out. So that would be like a prior assumption I would start with. So there's probably hunger, famine, no, I don't know what I'm saying. There's hunger, starvation, malnutrition that's being experienced in higher degrees than I've ever been. Number one. Number two is I think that getting food in and out of there, I keep saying in and out, getting convoys in and out seems to be complicated, but I don't think that it's because Israel is intentionally blocking anything. Because I think that if this is inductively reasoned, I think that if Israel was intentionally blocking stuff, I think that there would be people screaming from the rooftops about that. So the fact that I've seen none of that, and you have no. So I don't believe that's the case. So on the third thing, this is the argument that you were making. You thought you were making two, but you're making another. On the third thing, where Israel is being is obfuscating or is making things too difficult for some arbitrary purpose in getting food in. Now, I've seen a lot of claims about that, but the fact that nobody can give me a single concrete figure on how much food needs to go in and how much isn't getting in, and the fact that when I've dug through like 3 or 4 of these reports, all of them are sourcing stuff that's either months old or they're sourcing singular quotes from other people rather than an actual empirical breakdown, because we know the tonnage of stuff that goes in and out. It's tracked by the UN. It's tracked by the human. It's tracked by UNRWA, and it's tracked by the United Nations food delivery stuff. So if none of that is happening, and people are still saying these things, it makes me feel like there's some bullshit abound. Now, I don't have a high conviction on this, but in the absence of like concrete arguments about what's going in and what needs to go in, and in the absence of concrete evidence about Israel deliberately blocking shit, my prior assumptions are going to lead me to believe my a priori assumption is going to be that food is probably pretty right now because it's in war, and it's hard to get shit in there because of war. Not because Israel's fucking things up potentially. That would be my assumptions.
So there's high. I just want to make sure I wrote this down correctly. There's high. So you agree there's higher level of starvation than everything that's been the last 100 years, but you believe that's because a huge number of people have moved. Okay. And then when it comes to convoys, you're saying essentially that, well, yeah, it's more difficult, whatever, to get them in now, but that's not really Israel's fault, because Israel is not really doing anything to stop the blockage of the food. Is that correct?
I haven't seen strong evidence of that, so that's where I'm sitting at right now. Yes.
Which one would you be leaning more towards right now? Just if you had to bet your money on it, would you be more leaning towards Israel is blocking at least some of the aid, or Israel's not blocking any of the aid?
My prior assumption for Israel blocking aid is going to be very, very, very low. I can't imagine why they would do that. It would be an unbelievably stupid thing to do.
Okay. I mean, I think you have a lot more trust in Israel than I do.